You want to wait for Aaron?
Go ahead.
I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission for DeKalb, Illinois. Where's my little... in adherence to the CDC requirements and those set forth by the governor, we have spaced ourselves appropriately and taken all the necessary precautions. Roll call, please.
Becker. Here. Buckley. O'Flaherty.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
Doe. Wright.
Here.
Chair Maxwell.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Are there any additions or deletions or corrections to the agenda?
Move approval of the agenda.
Thank you. First by O'Flaherty, seconded by Klein. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. I will ask for approval of the minutes from the last meeting. I'm sorry, the agenda.
Or do you need the agenda?
No, I have it.
Okay.
No, sorry.
Yeah, there'd be the June 3rd minutes.
Yeah. Asking for approval of the minutes from June 3rd. Or any comments? Motion to
I move to approve as written.
move by O'Flaherty,
Second.
seconded by Klein, so passed. Do I have to do the all in favor on that one?
The voice vote.
Aye.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Public participation. Anybody listening to speak to anything that is not on the record for the agenda for today, please step forward. We'll give you a few minutes. New business. Public hearing. Petition by DeKalb, USSD 428 to amend the special use permit approved by ordinance 201731 to extend the time frame for a modular classroom to remain on the site at 1121 School Street, Little John Elementary School. I'll open it to public comments.
The applicant.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, I'm Tammy Carson, Director of Facility Operations for DeKalb School District. 3 years ago, we came forward to you to ask to add a modular classroom in Little John Elementary due to an increased enrollment at that facility. The modular classroom that we're looking to add would be was a 2-classroom unit, and we house our music class and our library in there. So it's not a classroom that holds students all day like a 5th grade or 4th grade. They rotate in for those programs. And since that time, we have not seen any decrease in enrollment. In fact, we've seen increases in enrollment across the district. And at this point, we continue to have the need to have the classroom and are renewing our lease with the company for another 3 years and asking for an extension from the city. There was, I do want to mention, there was a public comment or a response that we received from one of the neighbors when we sent out the letter that addressed, Dan recommended I speak of it, actually it wasn't related to the mobile, it was related to the opposite side of the property that belonged to 13th Street, and regarding some landscaping needs on our property line. I did look at those yesterday with our ground supervisor, Jeff Potter, and we'll be addressing those. Mostly it's just some weeds that need to be trimmed back and a tree that the branches above the garage and that's why need to be trimmed. So we'll be taking care of that by the end of the week. But other than that, I would just open up for questions or Dan or something.
Did you talk to that lady?
I have not reached out to her yet.
Oh, has she said she's satisfied?
Well, we haven't done the work yet. We will have it done by the end of the week. We're actually right now trying to catch up on mowing. And so, like I said, the supervisor and I looked at it yesterday, and we have instructed the grounds crew to take care of that before the week's end.
Okay, I'll ask for the city's presentation.
Yeah, the staff report in your packet, as Tammy mentioned, the request is for extension of the ordinance from 2017, which approved a modular classroom at the location shown on the site here, the aerial in red. Actually, there was a special use permit issued in 2001 for classroom, modular classroom, pretty much the same location. That was up for 10 years, it was removed. In 2017, they desired to put up another one based on increased enrollment and the need to free up some classroom space in the existing building, so they did get a special use permit. One of the restrictions was it was for 3 years, and that's expiring next month, so they came back and amended that. They indicated, as they testified, their need to continue to have that classroom. So the classroom's about 70 by 24 feet, shown there in the stripe area, just west of the school. It's a wood-based siding product on there's a picture from School Street of the modular classroom. There's a handicap accessible on the other side of the building, the classroom. The parking is the same on the site in terms of number required, number provided. That has not changed since 2017. Also back in 2017, we had a couple other conditions which they addressed. One was adding some additional lighting to the playground area to the west of the building. That was kind of a desire by some of the neighbors. They also screened their trash dumpster at that time. So as Tammy mentioned, their enrollment is going up. So they have inside the classroom is a media center and a music class, and that frees up room inside the building for other classes that are needed. So also note too that, so we're recommending another 3 years extension to the ordinance. As noted in the staff report, there is an annual inspection done each year, and that's turned into the DeKalb County Regional Office of Education. That's required for all the schools, so we are compliant with that. With amendment to the special use, we have the findings of fact, which they are all in compliance with. We did get a few citizen response forms, and those are listed in the staff report. Let's note those quick from Jason Leverton at 1221 North 13th Street, indicating not supporting the proposal, more concerns about safety of the modular classroom and lack of unity of school operations. Also received a response form from Tom Dickman, 1105 North 13th Street, indicating support of the proposal as long as the school district has good reason for the modular classroom, which I think they've indicated. Also, a citizen response form was received from Frank and Patricia Anderlich, 836 North 11th Street, where we supported the request that the students and teachers are not in danger, and the modular classroom is clean and good working order, and as I mentioned, that is inspected every year and has returned into the County Office of Education. We did, as mentioned, Tammy mentioned, since the posting agenda Friday over the weekend, we did get a public comment form email from Catherine Goshko, 1039 North 13th Street. I did indicate the lot here, just east of the school building. More concerned about the maintenance of some landscaping on the edge of the school property. To hers, I copied some pictures of the existing conditions. So, as the school district mentioned, they're going to do some trimming to address those issues she brought up. So, we recommend approval of the amendment to the special use extension for 3 more years. The modular classroom is not going to have a negative impact on the surrounding neighborhood. It's a benefit to the community and promotes public health, safety, and welfare. So, sample motion is prepared, and we do recommend approval.
Good. At that point, I'd like to open any public comments, if there are any. If not, I'll close the hearing and open it up to comments by the councilman.
Go ahead.
Do you have any comments?
Do you have any comments?
No.
I have actually 2. The first one is, it certainly, if the students need more space, but it seems like this is the second phase of putting a Band-Aid on what could potentially be a long-term issue. How does the school system look at addressing that?
Well, we actually are dealing with a bubble in our enrollment right now that is at the fourth grade. At the fourth grade level, it starts to drop again. And so, and based on the demographer projections, we are expecting that the numbers will then continue to either stay the same or go down every year. And so that bubble will help to, so we can reallocate enrollment and potentially then eliminate our mobile classroom.
And then the second question is a question about safety. With it being a modular unit, how do you react to things like thunderstorms, tornado warnings, things of that?
You know, fortunately in Illinois, we're able to typically get a little bit of a warning if there is a tornado off in the distance, and we're able to get them back into the building. We do not leave them in the mobile should there be any type of severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning in sight. We take them in and handle it as we do all the students in the building.
Great, thank you.
Just a curiosity, because I'm familiar with a lot of floater homes during hurricane season, is there any, what I would refer to, for lack of a better term, I apologize, strapping around the mobile homes where they actually are anchored into the sides so that if there is severe winds or tornado situation where they're secured? It's common practice in Florida because of hurricanes, and again, just from a community safety standpoint, I'm curious if that has been addressed.
It's not a question that's ever been asked of me, and when I've seen those arrive, I don't recall anything of that fashion being part of the construction. I can check with the company that does the installation and verify that, but it's on a foundation that, again, I don't believe a specific strapping is done for that reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I have really no questions. I live on North 9th Street and walk past it all the time with my dogs. It's maintained, it's cute around there, the little community garden, school garden thing that they've done next to it is quite cute. And ultimately, we would hope to see, you know, a more permanent building situation rather than that, but in lieu of that, it's taken care of, it's clean and neat around there. The fencing around the garbage was the best addition. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you, what do you see, this was the first time we came before the commission, it was for a 3-year deal, and now we're looking for another one. What do you see after this 3 years, the projection for enrollment? Can you give us an idea of where that would be and what can be done besides a mobile unit?
I believe in 3 years when we start seeing our enrollment, which again is it starts in our 3rd grade class, if I remember correctly, we start to see the numbers trending down instead of trending up, which is what we've had in our 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade classes. We have a large bubble moving through. At that point, then we can take a look at, and this would be keeping class sizes the same, but we potentially would not need as many classes, or we would have as open spaces in those classes, so we would have to have outside classrooms for that reason. We could bring the library back in. Our library inside actually became a support area. If any of you are familiar with Open Pod, it was our library, and it was an open area similar to this. And we put up temporary or partition type walls so that they had small groups in there, because we were also short on small group space to support the students' social and emotional skills or needs. So it's a mix of that enrollment as well as the needs of our students, social and emotional needs of our students has required us to have additional supports in place. As an example, we're adding an assistant principal this year to that building, an office for that person. So in 3 years, if enrollment starts to trend down as we anticipate it will, we'll be looking at the entire district, because this isn't just Little John that I'm talking about, this is an entire DeKalb school district. At that point, we'll be looking at it and saying, okay, is there something we can do to potentially, I don't want to use the word redistrict, but is there a way to move students around so that we can better use our space with the lower enrollment numbers and be able to eliminate old classrooms?
So there are other elementary schools that have lower enrollment, or is Little John unique in its growth at this point?
I would say the main reason that this came forth at that time originally was because we became a full 3-section school, elementary school. And what that means is there's 3 kinders, there's 3 first, there's 3 second grades. Our smaller elementaries, which Little John is kind of in the middle, are typically 2 sections. And with those, that third section is an ESL or English,
Second language.
sorry, second language and English learning specialist, not ELS. And for those, that is an ESL class building. So they have a kinder through 5th grade program for ESL classes. And we wanted to put it at that school because of its location and the neighborhood, the surrounding neighborhood. And so to do that, we had to bring some classes from other buildings. I will say, our other buildings, we don't have spare classrooms anywhere. I can think of, there might be one room at Brooks right now that's currently being used as art, that we put art and potentially have a classroom. But we are really at our capacity in the district because of this bubble that's moving through. And then again, we know we need to take a look at that when this bubble does come through. We see where our kinders and first graders, as they move in, what those numbers are looking like.
So there's no, would there be any contingency plans? Let's say if this bubble keeps bubbling, is there a contingency to look at the building and see what additions would, have you looked at that? Or
We have, we've
anticipate?
looked at a couple of things. One of those is, it wouldn't necessarily be at Littlejohn. It could be, again, with redistricting, an addition on another property based on where the growth of the community is. If there's more growth closer to, I don't know, Lincoln Elementary, let's say, or somewhere on the south side and north side, we try to get it near the neighborhoods that potentially we're seeing higher number population, enrollment numbers. And so there could be an addition put on those buildings. But obviously, additions are not cheap. We're looking at anywhere from $5 million on up to put a classroom addition with a gymnasium or a large space. So that is something we've looked at. Another thing that we've looked at in the past has been becoming grade centers, which is taking all the K5 or K8s and basically saying, okay, this school is only a K2, this other elementary is now a 3-5 or a 3-6, and really changing the dynamic, which involves a lot of planning and work, which it is something we're back discussing again. We did this several years ago. We're back on it again. But that would also change the dynamic of how many kids are at what locations and how much supports are needed at those locations. So there's many different things the district looks at. I'll be honest, when this all started back in 11, when we eliminated the mobiles at Littlejohn back in 2011 when we opened our new high school, we did not anticipate this bubble coming through. But with the 2008 economy changing a few years after that, and then enrollment dropping, we've seen an increase of the students in our district. Some are, living with other family members, so houses that used to have 2 students now have 4. It's not new households, but it's new students to our community.
Just out of curiosity, if we have this bubble and we can't necessarily anticipate what's going to happen after the fact, is it perhaps a wise decision to be leasing Cheeseboro out? I remember when we sold Roberts, and I don't know how, I don't know what the enrollment is out in Malta, but we've let a lot of buildings go over a period of time. And so specifically Cheeseboro, which we're going to be leasing out fairly soon, if we have that issue, does that seem like a great decision?
Well, there are some obstacles with opening Cheeseboro as any type of a K-5 or any combination of a K-5 building. And the reason is that we are landlocked, we have no playground, there is no space inside for a kitchen and serving area. And that school does not accommodate a full 2-section school. We try not to do much under a 2-section because of the supports that a co-teacher has, 2 kinders, 2 firsts. And that school does not have enough inside space to accommodate a 2-section school.
Didn't get it originally?
No.
So it never had a lunch program? It was all
What it
catered?
did, they have a kitchen that's smaller than the average house kitchen, and they're attached to their gym, and they would pull out serving carts into the gym every day and serve out of the gym, and then put in just drop tables in the gymnasium. They still have a smaller than gym they can use, and this is a larger gym, but it's not at all an ideal. It's also, it's a pod learning center with the raised floors. So there's ramps for handicap accessibility, but again, it's not ideal.
Well, I know that it met ADA requirements when it was built, so
It does.
that having been
Right.
said, I mean, whether it's catered in or whether the, you know, again, I wholeheartedly agree with you that building a $5 million section onto an existing building is an expensive option, but since we have something that's already been designed and that has been used for a period of time, it seems that if we need surplus space, that would be an ideal place to have it.
The other thing we've talked about with that, because it is something we've obviously knocked around a lot, the renovation costs for that building are approximately over $3 million. And so if it was maintained as 100% of the school district, we would be fronting that cost versus what we're looking at a shared cost with Menta Group. That, again, none of that deal is not final. We actually delayed it because of COVID and funding concerns. That building, the cost of that, as well as, again, the issues we're dealing with, we would have to contract, come up with an agreement with the park district, so that we build another playground on that property next to it, because that's not our property. To the east, that's the park district property.
What about to the south? I mean, that was,
The south is,
yeah, I mean,
parking
there
lot.
was a fairly complex play area that was set up there.
right, that's just to the east, that's park district property, and that was park district playground. That had been torn down several years ago for contamination. So it is something, another piece of Chiefboro is it's close proximity to Founders, Tyler, and Lincoln, that our growth and the numbers we're seeing are more on the north side. And if we have to put $2 to $3 million or more into Chiefboro to get it to the standards we have on house at K-5 or combination elementary school, there may be a better option at looking at adding on to another building.
I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but when you say that there's $2 to $3 million worth of improvements for a school that was shut down and operating at the time, what would those be?
The renovations that would need to be done, well, it has fallen into
I
some
mean, it was
disrepair.
functional at the time that it closed.
It was being limped along, I will say that. There were things that really needed to be done that we didn't do. It was also an open concept school that walls were put up randomly back in the day, and they don't go all the way to the ceiling. And some areas are still quite large to be considered a classroom and would need to have walls put up. It requires all new ceilings and lights. By doing all this, you got a sprinkler system, all the flooring needs replacing, the bathrooms would need to be fully renovated. A number of things would have to be upgraded to the standards of our school district before we could reopen.
How is the occupant going to take use of the building if that's the case?
We're doing the renovations, and the district is paying a portion, and they're clearing a portion, and with the rents that we're going to be contracting the lease payments, it'll be paid back within, I believe, an 8-year payback, the district's cost of it. And then they're fronting the other cost, the other portion of it for the portion of their use. But again, that is on hold right now. We made that decision back in April, that because of concerns of funding on their end and ours, we didn't want to start, or we didn't bid it out at that time. We're just going to wait and see how things kind of shake down with funding in the near future.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's just, as I had said, it's, I guess, comes to the question where you're saying that you're using temporary school buildings and then you're looking at $5 million plus in addition to schools where you've got, I mean, at least the bones of a fairly decent building right now.
The outside structure, yes.
Yeah.
We have looked at it. Please understand, this is a topic that comes up at our Finance Facility Advisory Committee quite frequently. And at this point, because of the projections that the bubble is going to be passing through, that we will be able to manage after that bubble, that the feeling is the money would be better used by renovating, getting a repayment, getting a renter in now, because the building continues to deteriorate every year. We are putting a new roof on it this fall just because of necessity, but with hopes that we will have that renter in there and get it in use and increase the feeling around the neighborhood. Nobody likes living next to a boarded up building. And then as in time, this would be a 3 or 5 year lease initially, where we could opt to ask them to move out and we move in at that time too. We have that flexibility. This isn't a 10-year lease. It's going to be a 3 or 5, so we have that option, knowing well then we're not recovering as much in regard to our lease payments.
Okay. Well, and again, another could perhaps be a foolish question, but when we relinquished Roberts to NIU enrollment is obviously down substantially, so they have a lot of vacant buildings at the moment. Is there any way to recapture Roberts and use that, just because you said you need, the necessities on the north side?
Absolutely. We've actually had some conversations. Our superintendent has reached out to the NIU president. There's been some conversations conversations, should we want to continue that conversation, because I believe at this time that building is vacant. So,
Perfect opportunity.
maybe, yes.
All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll ask for a motion to pass. There's a sample in the packet. Would you like to narrate? Gary, you want to read?
Sure. Based upon the submitted petition and testimony presented, I move that the Planning and Zoning Commission forward its finding of fact and recommend to the City Council approval of an amendment to ordinance 2017-31 to extend the time frame for a modular classroom to be located at 1121 School Street, Little John Elementary School, as shown on the attached Exhibit A, subject to the following condition. 1, the modular classroom may remain on the subject site in the location as shown on Exhibit A for no more than 3 years of the date of approval of the ordinance granting the amendment, and shall, on or before said date, be removed from the property. At such time, the surface beneath the modular classroom shall be restored to a pre-installation grassed condition.
Seconded by Klein. First by Wright. Ask for roll call, please.
Becker,
Yes.
Buckley, O'Flaherty,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Doe, Wright,
Yes.
Chair Maxwell.
Yes.
Motion passes.
With that, we'll ask if there's any safe reports.
Yes, next meeting will be July 6th, Monday, July 6th. It'll be the first meeting at the DeKalb Library, 6 p.m. It's at the lower level, in the students' meeting room. Packets will go out. The meeting being moved from Wednesdays, it's the first and third Mondays now. So we'll get the packets, post-agenda, send you the link on the Thursdays before the meeting. Review those, so those go out July 2nd. So that night we'll have 2 hearings, which you got an email link on those this week. First United Methodist Church, proposing to relocate to a site 15-16 acres on the west side of Annie Glen, just to the west of the nursing home. So they're annexing part of the property and amending the planned development ordinance for part of it, for the Dean's Garden. So that'll be the first hearing, and also a hearing of variance for First National Bank, 121 West Lincoln Highway, just down the street, for a digital display. They want to add to an existing non-conforming sign. Part of the sign they want to have a digital display portion of that. So it's a variance regarding the height of the signs on that. And the variance is a decision by the commission. It's not a recommendation. So variances are up to the commission for approval. And that'll be the 2 items on that. Last council meeting on June 8th, the council did approve on first and second reading the Isaac Suites mixed-use development of John Pappas and One Drive and Sycamore Road, and also approved on first reading the rezoning of 421 Grove Street across the street. There was a TIF request in that too, so this approved on first reading. Second reading will be this coming Monday.
Thank you. Any comments, criticisms, or critiques by the council? Okay. With that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Again, sorry to be so thorough. My mom was a teacher, and so I know the district fairly well. So.
No?